Hello everyone, I'm Yubar Reingok and welcome to another Yubar Talks. It's been a while. This is where I talk or rant about something on my mind while gameplay is in the background. And since today I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto 5, why not have it playing while I talk about it? Now many of us love playing GTA 5 online. It's what made this game top of the charts for years now. It's been like 4 or 5, I think. And this is despite a number of the different flaws that come up. Many of you can already guess, if you play it, what I mean by that. But since this is, a video and we all are talking about it at this time, I'm of course going to mention some of them. Where it suddenly seems like everyone is dropped from your session all at the same exact time, and you suddenly are all alone to do whatever freely with no other player to interfere or spook you that they're going to come up and shoot you as they drive by. When really the game just dropped you into a solo session by yourself for some reason, it's still public, and you didn't even see the transfer or anything. It's just, boom, you're there. You're done. Then, of course, there are those people whose sole purpose in the game, and each game has this, is to make everyone else's life miserable. The trolls, the assholes, the dickheads, the mother you-know-whaters. They used to hop in tanks back when it started, but now they get in jets, or they now have the Oppressor. Or maybe get into any of the new planes from Smugglers Run to bomb your ass. And they don't go on missions. They don't deliver cargo. They just spend a bunch of money for in-game money. Buy what they want, and then go after players. And that's not even getting into any of the old issues that we thankfully have mostly been worked out by now. It's a lot better than it was for times. But all that we love about the game really does overrule all the negatives. Most of the time. See, with the last 2 updates, the gun running update, and now Smugglers Run, there are... Well, we love Rockstar. We love a lot of the games they put out, and they do right by the player by so many. Free updates for this game that any other person would have been charging for, and you don't even have to pay to play. You already paid for the game. You can pay for the money to buy new stuff, or you can work for it and have fun doing it. We love that, and all they put out, and of course we still want more. We still love them for it, and that's what I'm here to talk about. What more can be added to Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and what can be fixed that we already have? Well, first, let's talk about the 2 updates I previously mentioned. So, in both updates, you can get vehicles that are rather amazing. However, they have their limitations. Now, I'm not talking about what they can, do drive-wise, it has trouble flipping over. No. I'm actually talking about their ammo. See, in both updates, a number of the vehicles have limited ammo reserves, let's put it like that. For example, the Oppressor can only fire so many rockets before it runs out. And then you literally you're literally left weaponless because you used your rockets instead of, and you didn't, keep the machine guns on the thing. You upgrade to the rockets, which have, limited ammo, but the machine guns don't. So now you have to either, call your mobile operations center or go to one of your properties with a garage, drive the vehicle in, park it in order to replenish your ammo supply all over again. Which is ridiculous. And this isn't the only vehicle they've done this with. The APC with the rockets on top only have maybe a few dozen. I'm using dozen here very, very, very loosely. That might not even be the right word. That might not even be the right number. But we're going with it. A few dozen rounds, and you're out. I'm talking 4 dozen. Really low number. So maybe 48 shots. And then any of the planes that you can drop the bombs from can only do maybe and this is just my experience so far with anyone, maybe 6 full bombing runs before you have to go park them again and replenish them. So, hoping your hangar is somewhere close by for that, or you don't have to spend 10 minutes flying all the way back over to it. Because it could be at the end of the one side, or it could be all the way in Zancudo. And then, with the weapon upgrades to several of the weapons, and the changing of ammo, and you can only replenish its ammo in the mobile operations center where you customized it. So a lot of players from Reddit to Rockstar's own forums have been asking Rockstar to fix these. Now, Rockstar did have a reason behind this. They didn't want players to be too overpowered. Understandable, especially the ones who would only go around assaulting other players. We all know they're there. And that's actually really fair. Giving those guys or other players that much power could make those who just like running the missions and doing card runs, it could make their lives much harder trying to do that. But at the same time, it makes it harder for the players who do only those, or just like going around on those and just bugging the cops or whatever, and don't bother other players to do those jobs and those missions and to have fun. And it makes it not so much fun. Why use the Oppressor except for just getting across the map quicker? It's really its only use when you can only fire so many rockets before having to duck inside somewhere. I think back in Gunrunning it actually did have unlimited rockets, but I think they fixed that with the update, which, good lord. And again, I get why Rockstar did it for the vehicles. And here's the thing. Rockstar has really fixed the ability for players to kick those jerks who are only targeting other players much easier. You used to need the majority of the room to kick someone, but if enough players do it, and in a short enough amount of time, or just enough players, that same jerk will be gone. And a lot of players these days don't want that craziness anymore. It's fine when they're doing it, but they're not doing that to other players. And most people aren't doing that anymore. That's actually a much less common occurrence. Sure, maybe you get in a room with 20 and you've got one in a 30-minute to an hour span of all quiet who will come in and start doing that. Just the one. But most players, they don't do that sort of craziness anymore. And really, you find that if it's not the super high levels, like the 500s or something, it's mostly players under level 80 to 100 who still go after other players. But that's mostly because they still have no clue or just don't care in this how they've been leveling up. I mean, okay, yeah, all spectrums, but I've noticed it really is the 80 to 100 who are more likely to go after than the higher levels who know, okay, this is how I get my money or whatever. And they actually enjoy doing the missions because it's fun. You get to do all this. But even if you are in a session full of the crazies, you can just hop sessions until you're in a quieter one with less people, or it's a peaceful one. There's so many sessions now where I find where it's like there's a community now who's dedicated to keeping peaceful service. They go about their thing, and if someone comes in and starts causing shit, they immediately start kicking them. And they're dedicated to every player having fun, doing their thing, keeping the session quiet. Now, if an accident happens, I've actually seen where a lot of these times, someone will be driving and they just did not see, or at the time they were driving by, they were in some crazy shootout already and they didn't notice the player running by, or they thought the player was one of the cops and shot him. And a lot of the time I actually see now where someone will actually apologize for that, saying, "Oh God, I didn't know you were, not a cop or something." And just, it's a more common thing now for these peaceful servers. So these limitations Rockstar has put on these vehicles, while they are appreciated, are really unnecessary. Most of the community on the game has settled down and isn't going to start going ballistic on other players. So many would prefer that the vehicles be unnerfed and be allowed their infinite bomb drops from their planes and all the rockets the world can offer, and then some. But then there are the weapon upgrades as well. They are so limited on ammo. You maybe have, don't know, 6 clips with something. Okay, maybe more. I think what was it, 20? Or, I don't know. No, it's like 10 or 11 with the AK with the armored piece in the rounds. And we really need those to just be given like max ammo as well. Just give us the 9,999 round limit for those as well. And the ability to buy the ammo through the inventory and the quick menu. Really, it makes things better. Just give us the ability to buy the ammo through the inventory menu and the quick menu. Either works. Actually, both work. But you could... It's just both. Okay, so that's the existing stuff. But what more can be added to the game? Well, we already know that a good chunk of stuff was held back from Smuggler's Run's initial release. A number of vehicles were held back and can only be used on air freight missions, but apparently, they were supposed to come out later for us to buy and use. Seriously, why can't I have the Apache attack chopper? That thing is awesome. There was also word that we were getting a number of weapons added as well, including the Dane railgun. Do you know how much I want a railgun? In real life and in video games? I've wanted that since I first saw Metal Gear Solid 2! That's just something I pick up occasionally on missions. It's aggravating. I really like it. Anyways. Okay. So that's the stuff we still don't have that we should later. But what more could we have? I mean, good lord, we've already got some outrageous things here. I mean, the Oppressor is literally a motorcycle that has a jet on the back with extendable and retractable wings on the side so it can fly. Armored cars with turrets mounted on top. Big, flying, bombers? Well, I took a look at Reddit and a few other places, and there actually are some common things that do come up. Most common thing I found was, can we upgrade more weapons? A good option, a very good option, giving us more weapons to upgrade. Well, I have my personal picks, like, you know, the minigun, and the rocket launcher, grenade launcher. Mostly the minigun. There was one that came up far more often than I expected. Although it does have its merits, I have to admit. That is, you know, the Uzi, or the game's micro SMG, or whatever it's called. The very first SMG you can buy, and the one most enemies can be found carrying of the SMG party. The one that you, as soon as you became CAO, and could, you know, throw out which weapons you didn't want to use or never used, and so you could just customize your weapon loadouts, and then you go and you pick it up off the ground off a freaking enemy, and you gotta go back in and reset the damn thing. It's a good candidate. Upgrading it would make it far more useful. Although I do still prefer my other SMG they have, I can't deny that this one is far overdue for having a reason to exist in many players' inventories. I mean, does anybody who's not low level and actually owns an office use it at all? I'm curious. But that isn't the only weapon that players agree should be upgraded. We don't have any shotguns that have been upgraded. And while the assault shotgun will be the most obvious choice as one, I've also seen the pump shotgun, the sawn-off, and the one that is clearly a Sega shotgun, but I can't for the life of me remember the name as I'm writing this, or typing this, or recording this, or anything. I'll probably post up the name, or I'll forget one or two. All those were good candidates for being up for upgrade. There are also some new melee weapons we can add, like swords, because why the hell not? You can even take some of the pistols and upgrade them too. Players really seem to like the idea of being able to upgrade their weapons to these new things and do different things with them with the ammo, which really you guys really need to extend more than you have. It's really sad. But what about vehicles? What the hell can you add that hasn't been added already? Well, customizing planes or helicopters we already own is an option. They've done that already with 2 vehicles from Warstock for gun running. And there's still more vehicles players would like to customize from Warstock as well. So let's really start there. You can turn any of the buses into giant roving fortresses for the zombie apocalypse we all know is coming. Or you could shoot any number of weapons from the windows, which are going to be barricaded or whatever. Maybe even use a chainsaw, which, actually, why isn't that a melee weapon already? And thinking of that now, why don't we have like a Scarface thing going on here? I mean, we move cocaine and all these other drugs and weapons and all these things. We're kingpins in this game, but we don't live like it. We live in frickin'... I mean, I get it's LA, but shit, man, there are mansions in LA too. I mean, there should be more for us to feel like it. I mean, yeah, you have the fast cars, but nothing like luxury or something like that. I mean, that you're gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, I would drive this around everywhere. I mean, I got the Rolls Royce, I still have that. I'm never getting rid of it. But like maybe at a mansion for us to buy. Like, there are so many across this game that you could put up that we all know are kind of mansions, just all over. And you can put all these different ones up. And you can also have, you know, personal security around it. You know, your own personal security. So we can pull into these, and there will be guards there that protect the players when they're there. Who shoot whoever. Now I get a bombing run, somebody just drives right over and fucking bombs your ass. But still, any of the low-level players who don't have that, didn't pay for it, they'd have a hard time getting to you. And we can pull into these, and, you know, there'll be guards that protect the players. Now, I do see some problems, like, what if multiple players in a session own the same home? Could the guards be set to attack other players who own that same home? I mean, yeah, it's kind of complicated, but you can set it so they can attack players who don't own the house. You know, Rockstar. They won't attack anyone, or they won't attack any who do. You know, even if the two owners are like killing one another. But you know, that's one way to do things. You can set it to attack everyone else, which is the people who aren't in the group, or nobody. You know, kind of like the some of the defenses from the Yahoo. I'm just fucking picking off from here from different things, but you know, there's something there. I mean, it's a good idea, just needs thought out more than I am doing. Alright, damn, I got off track here. Okay, customized vehicles. So besides the buses, we can also do... Damn, that King Hunt stuff really does sound awesome. Like, I want a mansion now. Not any of those stilt houses. Those things look like crap. Okay, anyways. Moving on from the ground vehicles, since I can't think of any anymore. As far as, like, flying, you've got the Hydra, the Buzzer, well, most of the air vehicles can be turned into custom vehicles. I'm thinking the more common ones for customization. I mean, the Buzzer and the Hydra are two good candidates, obviously, yeah, sure. Or, you know, the Frogger, which is one of the faster choppers. Or the Cuban 800, worth making that half a damn. You know, some of these ones that you don't typically think of. Oh, God. There's so many vehicles that you can choose from to upgrade. There's so many other things you can add. I mean, there's a lot. I think the biggest thing, though, that I saw as far as upgrading, as far as the flying vehicles, was actually the Titan. Now, hear me out. The Titan is a pretty big plane. It can hold up to, I think, 10 players? And understandable, okay. But here's the thing about the Titan. This is a big plane. It's basically a C-130. I think that's right, C-130, which is just basically a big cargo plane. But you can fit all these players in there. Why not make it a flying fortress? The thing's big enough. Why not? Think about it. You customize it, upgrade it, and it can have mounted guns coming out the sides. It can drop bombs, or it can throw stuff out the back. It's perfect. Actually, that's another thing. A flying fortress. We already have the mobile operations center for the ground, but what about a flying one? One that you can literally park your vehicles in, and just fly with them. Come on. You know it's a fantastic idea. We already have one for the ground, let's get one for the air, where you can shoot out the side. And the Titan is a great candidate for that. Sure, you probably need bigger, but, you know, that's actually already a very good candidate, or at least a good model to work off of. And that is something I've seen that has come up a few times, and I thought was also something worth mentioning, was just that air fortress. Something that we should go ahead and just make. It's great having a mobile operation center for ground operations, but for air operations, come on. You need that fucking giant air fortress. And that's it. I have nothing else. Sure, there are more things to talk about. More things I could suggest to get you all thinking or excited. Enough for you to hop on to a message board and try to get Rockstar to make them a reality, or to make your own video ranting about how Rockstar, you really need to do this because it's actually a really good idea and you should listen. Like, you know, I might have kind of did here. Especially the first thing, fixing everything, no more, you know, ammo limitations on the vehicles. But I think that's enough for now. I've bored you enough, or maybe I didn't. And now you can go play Grand Theft Auto Online, or wherever else, or go watch the new season of Narcos on Netflix. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, but holy crap, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, Narcos, yes. Very good. Can't wait for season 4. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it and you want to see more, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I post a new video. If you want to let me know if you liked the video, then hit the like button or leave a comment or do both. It's completely up to you. But thank you all so much for watching. Y'all keep on gaming. I will see you in the next video. Peace out. God damn, what the fuck is going on with this game all of a sudden?
And then everyone had to rise up and get themselves killed. Tell me, how did it feel to fail him that day? To live with the disgrace of his death?